And run so man penini akasa brano near Tosbem said Dumiansa update to the Bray national address COVID-19 coronavirus. A moon common be a diacotine. A moon common be a diacotine. What it to ja? Yeah, I'm saying your Tosbay do 9 rather. So we'll be checking out some of stories trending on it. Yabeshe na yadia non so edi abro. Yabeji the front pages of the dailies there one kratano and Nedre saying and one more can. Newspapers never ba bontin near obe who said SOU sika now the tobye. And Nedre ya de bro. No see boy no see kasi boy de kan be bro no pay will need 100.9 Ghana Montie when we join the news feed. Simabe do and so not no siabo. So in the next 17 minutes, we'll take you to the news online portals near the front pages of the dailies as well. And which is Bani Ababa Twasa Kopimbe no do and Nedjoy. Miana Midi Huchiami or Fremi KWASI ABOAGYE. And that's his win yabre. Now dear Fidino Adia to us in Yamin Shapa Papa and Nedjoy. Nana pay up on Pire there. And now real crafty, hot woman. Yeah, in Grand Bravo. Yam fast that I can see from peacefmonline.com, citynewsroom.com, and that online portals and the Pierre Masi Papa. And some I am mobile chair from the various websites no honey if ye. Yansha see Ghana records 582 new COVID-19 cases, so total now 32,437. The Ghana Health Service says some 582 new COVID-19 cases have been recorded. This brings the country's total tally to 32,437. With a death toll still at 161, Ghana Health Service says it has also recorded 28,927 clinical recoveries, with active cases now are 3,349. Saying and Kuntebu Tier, Ghana Health Service for COVID-19 coronavirus Yadiano Ghana baby Yijina Ewumuno. Almost say Nipa Baye 582. And your new cases are Ababeka Ghana a figure on T. Figure in Yanaka 32,437. Nipa 161 I make us say so far no me free mu. Ewo hanam saying omo ho atomo ewo yade no 28,927 tie active cases omo America na say yade active cases say omo bi sisia 3,349 saying any Nkuntebu Ghana Health Service from the Ababatuja update on COVID-19 Ghana cases on the coronavirus. Say no man penny any in common nation address COVID-19 hunsun sanso no nim say kwesiada boy no tese oni aba be kasa enra woni Ghana woni kasa ye na nsem no bi has found its way onto the various website portals now. Says drinking sport tourist sites reopened, nightclubs and cinemas remain closed. Drinking sports tourist sites reopened, nightclubs and cinemas remained closed. The president, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, has announced that tourist sites across the country, as well as drinking spots, will now be allowed to open as the country gradually eases COVID-19 restrictions. Baby, I'll bet me a guguru. Baby, I ton san or my penny sisi ye be tourist sites. Baby, I'll bet me a call ye be answer. I hear called wakwa hwe ho no me say to say bia Iburi Gardens Cape Coast Castle ni sa eni mbia ni nyina na sisi ade ebie na mbia bi ho no mo a omo de yemie ebi ni night clubs nko kudi asa na dwubia ena cinemas nko hwe woni so ade ese bia ya yesene foforo me kwakohwe eno de atum emie ye still no untimi enko tinka person bi akwakohwe ane Mr. Restrictions on transport sector lifted. Trotros and taxis to take full capacity. And no answer no man penny at the 2 Jano, a Munsubakuni, CCR. Sa restrictions are the ma year trotro for taxis for and Kaun to me in fact, they be fancy taxi in Nipababy and San Aso Mutrichira, Untimi Family and San So Titio Muntem, Trotrui, Yatitio Muntem maybe a fine Fanny Pabe Fifa, Ubefa Baby and San Nambi. CCR man penny sa restrictions in the if you hold my make us say dear. A trotro for obetimi afa full capacity. Say Fanny Pabe 19, almost 19 pepepe. Taxis for so sa pepepe. Nipa miensa ewechire baakuti enim hono ma kan driver no ho. Man penny restrictions if you make us say dear. Obetimi afa Akufo-Addo extends the duration of mosque and church service to 2 hours. President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has extended the duration of religious activities for churches and mosques in the country from 1 to 2 hours. Enti insem no ba konso no efa nsode ni mosque no ho masalachi. O man penyin say 1 hour no di mom sisi a why 2 hours. First no na mubetumi akwa asore mbedi dohwere ba ko pesisi ade ai ne dohwere mienu enti bank kakran munya abotre enche musu mbenya full capacity na so nso nko munya be at least 50% of the membership na compare but nioma penyi ade amamuni ayi dohwere ba ko ya twe akwa ni ma ye dohwere mienu now mubetumi ayam so mubetumi atra hiribaba sa dohwere mienu we anam kofie Ebaji college ansana mako share. Second phase of free water supply to take effect this July. GWCL, the Ghana Water Company Limited, GWCL says the implementation of the second phase of government free water supply stipulated in the media budget will begin this July and end in September. Aha! Sabakai, yawade ye twem ya. Finance Minister akomra shebejemna wade media review no. Wade kwato ye mra shebejafo ni Ghana fo enim no. Unse ba ko epie fi mu no chese ye ba benya extension of free water, free electricity. Obosomo miensa Ghana Water Company Limited for the omodi abadadada. Ye hwe electricity for no. Ghana Water for chese sa busumi miensa na aban so okay ensuo womo fa ko kaye ntua no womo se ehya ase fi busumi July mu a enti busumi July mu nsu no mo pipe wo mu fie no mo benya free water mo ntua mo bu pipe na eye busumi aban fa ho ka enya sa aban fa ho ka enti no utimi bie pipe na odi asisu asa bacho menye jimisem bia enya sa wona ba betua karinti se enya wona wutua ninti na se ubu nsuo no sa debi o yesa na mbetua ka. Gender Ministry demands prosecution of killers of a 90-year-old woman accused of witchcraft. Now we video become viral. The uhuidia video become viral. You see oba penny bia we di be mfie duokono 90 years. Na our northern region, in fact Savannah region to be precise. Na you see krubi a friend Kafaba. No mo see mami ye be for we di mfie 90 years. And we see na bro na chese ne no mo bo na chese o makumami. And agenda ministry ka se wo mo mudu isa anya mransem no wo mukum sa mami peni. Emra no eni omu ni papa. Amampanyi dada Rollins Cross di na no atum se sa de ne ntwaye. Amanfo bebre o mahu video no anamate ho nsem no akasa fa ho se Ghana baby akwa kodu ni bie eda so aye niam bi sei a chese amanfo be bre na ebuofu papa ni esi e Savannah region no. NDC for amanyoko amusan court biomo omu chese Supreme Court sa asema wo mu bia so voter ID card dada no entimi mfa ntwero din omu shi omu ko for review omu ko Supreme Court say debi omu ntiase enti Supreme Court for new review NDC for omu shi omu ntiase Chamber of Petroleum Consumers in so the Assembly Baba Tuja Womo Assembly Nana say ye transport first no CCR no I was sure to almost sure man penny say Womo say obe so transport first no tissue anymore ya Chamber of Petroleum Consumers no so this Assembly Baba Tuja. Na insurance say se mukura mbetimi sisi ambetimi afa full capacity o. Esi ora kujo upon kroma na ode say media tudua say insurance no. Any more skisi ambetimi afa full capacity. Ani ebe kwa so de sa. Alright, so mami fast like I say from peacefmonline.com, myjoyonline.com, me other news online portals na and pay and somewhere ye nimo ache ye efi honum saying na ye diaba. Ye baba ji de won krata no so edim sem today Monday saying ana newspapers no so kan ye de no e de baba pe so e de amamo na nsa na akwakoji no nsia kase bo July 27 2020. This is Neat 100.9 Ghana Montie Jumedi so an pay ene wa kwesi ABOAGYE
frichi freche framre fete freche mu fentem frem e frechiri freedom say omantie amansentie Ghana Montie wo need.
Alright, so to the front pages of the daily said Najoy Sena de Bon Kratano, anyone said no Tiakosa upon transfer coming on to pay Baba here and Semno. So president relaxes more restrictions. Aye, another year the Bon Krata graphic. Yes, I see him some saying Tiakosa call.
Me the daily graphic neba na daily graphic and pay and Osman Penny say dear. Eswa na edagana foso no wa chese sesei wagugum pa wagugum ama enyoma akoyie wagugum na engugum no wo sesei esom eye don hwiri mienu 2 hours se no de aba eno no enya de aye beka se aso dem ho mma dabi ye beko so ahwese ye betete yentem drinking spot so yesi say musum betimi aye adwuma ama eno ho asem daily graphic aba amane wa chese ntiase apam bi akoso UCC any investor bi entem e wo commander sugar factory no ho ama no so daily graphic ebo emu amane so na price water house coopers so edito aban anim say wo mo hwe na COVID-19 yen hwe yen toto nioma yen nane da ne sikasam no na entumi mu ameno ho asem aba wo se enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama enipa wayi no se wo baba ye na bedi akire Professor Opoku Agimene na officially ewo amamre kwan so woyi no ede no akire Ghana afan na nyina na maami a wanya mfihye de okunu enipa bi ato ahye ne so ebefo ma bono ama maami ato nananom wonsia do no IGP homicide team say omunko piemu e Savannah region ho no omunko hwehwem na enipa bonfo mu di anyambra nsem wete saa no yenche wo mo ama enei Daily Graphic de ho asem aba. The Ghanaian publisher the Obokrata na me de to aso the Ghanaian publisher the Obokrata kire say enei de Ghana mampanyi Akufo-Addo COVID-19 restrictions no oguso agugumu ba religious activities esa soma hudo ni nyina no wo mo de don hwiri mienu ebe ya asode ema no ho asem wo ha afa tourism fam na public transport nso wo se adroba for taxi ene de kaka wo betimi afa enipa dodo wo mo pese wonom efa wo mo no ama the Ghanaian publisher the Obokrata de ho asem aba Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia na private wo ya ankrankra wo mo kan mo tiribo mu so wo mo boa ama ya konkodin no betimi aboa COVID-19 na yade foforo bia betisimu a ye betimi anya yaresa bia betimi ahwe sa nipa etisa no Dr. Bawumia akọ ama wakwakọ bia no se $7.5 million a 100 bed Ghana infectious disease center ene no wasam ewa ha Ghanaian publisher so de mami ya ye bo no kunu yi eno ho se enka ne mampanyi Rollins nso akasa se we de ni kwanse atwentwa ye na ase e wo se ye hwehwemu Fiko ni ehunu enipa bonefo a wo mu edi anyambra nsam a etisa na afa ya twe wo maso a eno ebeboa pa amante ase aye adwuma ama enne the Ghanaian publisher the Obokrata de ho asem aba me did find that the Obokrata na eba wase ezi asori no emma ewom no wo mu ekuo no makasa tia maami a wanya mfinhia aduakunu ya bono ekunu no eno ho asem e wo the find that the Obokrata mu wase nana boa ma ne nipa apem a wo mu ankasa eye memma wo ma bi anwuma a eno no wo mu edipadua madam die ewom no 2 million Ghana cedis ena ye kasa yi wo mu so ya so wonum asene.
Yeah, say so. We joining the news feed here. Calling ABOAGYE. And pay no siya kasi aboagye. Yabesa bani ababe to aso edi amamu need 100.9
104.3 FM Suni Ghana de Shmaima yamamu nyina achi ebran so se de omemu nsem ebremo kaseboyi sign am okay 101.7 FM so need 100.9 Kumasi a 101.7 I know 101.5 Hello FM wo Kumasi radio stations o mo fa wo Ghana ha ne amahodo so ebro ha mo share live on Facebook no Facebook peace 104.3 FM Facebook live peace 104.3 FM and a YouTube and so despite media
na ensemo ye denam ene anopai omampani ni America sa ye nkasa ho etoso edu 9 ebra COVID-19 besensen ye nkom ensemo wo mu ni nyina ye de bebramu na ye sinkonya na ya kyeremu baako ede amamom afei amansem so de yare COVID-19 ejina no so ye de ho asem ebebramu
ye ka mo se no nsia kase boyi Siuzi Herbal Center wo mu boye chidom wo mu de Sibiman capsules abadwa so na wonya Sibiman capsules na bema edikatika show bema wojunso mu achemienu bema wojunso a wochi ya edro we wadro na Sibi women capsules wo ban hemfie takeka wo ban wo ne ukunu hyiemu a wochi wo ya obi e wachire oba wo wotim se fom ho eniema na baabi eda Sibi women capsules edro no ene bebo chidom Sibi sob ye de pedicure nto fresh Siuzi Herbal Center wo 024711161 024711161 First Atlantic Bank say the mobile banking application no by your short code no star 442 hash star 442 hash now with them yama banking transaction ni na aye easy obetimi download do First Atlantic Ghana mobile app no Google Play Store and iOS Store una dial pe and I would download do a nia wo pese wo ye bia mobile money sika na wo di to obi account mum school fees na wo tua bills bi airtime na wo to people experience no aye kama e wo mobile phone so ma mobile phone ne kuta won ehomran faso ebra wo download the First Atlantic Ghana mobile app and also wo dial star 442 hash na wo dia ye adwuma eye safe eye secure eye very simple. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different, and this way chocolate drink. You hear? So she Ghana cocoa papabi and ye dear.
Na akenkai for a mote yenken me. Nana ya kunadu ena
akosia ago aboagye
Omampani na nadu danko akufo ne America sa enra na nkasa ho etoso eduna free bra COVID-19 ba ye omampani a church hyehyɛ ahodo no a na ban eye anamontu ahodo suku de wom wo mo wo ahohoye adwuma mu de ewomu na ye nkonkotie sade one omayi ekasa ye
Peace FM.
I'm happy that I have the opportunity this evening to engage with you again in your homes. I want at the outset to thank all of you for your prayers and expressions of good wishes when doctors advised me to go into quarantine for 2 weeks. God being so good, I'm back again at work. I thank you very much for your concern. It has been a month since I came to provide you an update on the measures being undertaken by my government to combat the coronavirus pandemic. It has been almost 5 months since our lives were turned upside down, and indeed, the whole world was forced into a crisis of unimaginable proportions. This crisis, that dramatically affects lives and livelihoods, has plunged the world into uncharted waters, as even the experts admit that they are having to learn as we go along. This new unknown virus has led the world and its economies to a violent halt and has brought death and fear into our lives. We in Ghana rose to the occasion and introduced measures to protect lives and livelihoods. Fellow Ghanaians, back in March, most of us hoped passionately that the effects of the virus would wane quickly once we took the steps that had been recommended to contain the spread. Even the most hard-headed expert opinion suggested that by the middle of the year, the spread of the virus would be on the wane. We are now at the end of July. The virus is still raging. There's not an effective treatment yet. As time goes on, we, and indeed the world, have come to understand that COVID-19 is not a problem which will go away on its own. Ultimately, salvation will come with an effective and accessible treatment. We hope and pray that this will happen tomorrow, but may very well happen in a couple of months, in a couple of years, or it may take even longer. Until then, we have to learn to adapt to the conditions. It is not normal that we have to wear masks, but now we have to. It is not normal that we cannot shake hands with each other, and it is certainly not normal that we cannot hug our family members and loved ones. But that is our current reality. Until treatment is found, COVID-19 will remain a part of our lives. But life cannot be put on hold indefinitely. And Ghana cannot remain in a never-ending crisis management situation. And that is why we've been putting measures in place to restore gradually some normalcy in our social and economic lives, as we learn to cope with the reality of the virus. Probably the most significant of these measures has been the gradual opening of the schools to enable final year students at various levels of education finish the school year and take their exams. Since the last time I addressed the nation, we have seen over 750,000 persons, comprising students, teachers, and non-teaching staff in our junior high schools, returning to school to prepare for and sit the basic education certificate examination. Last Monday, the 375,000 final year SHS students who have been in school for 5 weeks started writing the West African Senior Secondary School certificate examination. 127,000 143 of students in our universities and other tertiary institutions have now all virtually completed their final examinations. The safety and good health of students and staff have been the paramount considerations in the reopening of schools, and we therefore insisted on full adherence to the enhanced COVID-19 protocols. That is why, as already been widely publicized, we undertook a massive mobilization and deployment of logistics to our educational facilities to help ensure that learning is conducted in an atmosphere of safety as we continue to limit and contain the spread of the virus in our country. All of these reiterate the commitment of government to protect the lives of all those involved in the phased reopenings of our schools. And I will not renege on my obligation towards either our children or their parents. Mercifully, we have witnessed only a few cases of infections in our universities and other tertiary institutions. The few students who tested positive in a few of our senior high schools have all either recovered or are on the path to full recovery and will write the vaccine. And the few final year junior high school students who have tested positive and who are largely asymptomatic are being managed in isolation centers. Government continues to engage with the stakeholders in the education sector to determine the conditions for the future reopening of schools after the current examinations are concluded by mid-September. I will keep you fully informed about the outcomes. 3 days ago, the Minister for Finance, the hard-working, highly patriotic Ghanaian, Ken Ofori-Atta, went to Parliament and gave the country a candid view of the state of affairs of our economy. Not only did he present a compelling review of the efforts put in place over the last 3.5 years to stabilize and grow our economy, he was also able to paint a credible picture of hope for the future, despite the ravages caused by COVID-19. It is reassuring to see working in real life the bold decision to implement a relief, resilience, and recovery plan with the overarching aim of providing relief to the ordinary Ghanaian and being able to find more resources to strengthen the productive sectors of the economy to ensure sustained economic activity. Government was able to feed thousands of our people during the period of the lockdown. From April to June, government gave additional allowance to our healthcare workers, ensured free access to water for all households across the country, fully absorbed electricity bills for 1 million active Lifeline customers, and granted a 50% subsidy on electricity bills of all other customers, using the March 2020 bill as the benchmark. Through the Coronavirus Alleviation Program Business Support Scheme, 600 million cedis is being disbursed to support micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises which have been affected by the economic downturn caused by the pandemic. It bears repeating that some of these incentive packages have been extended for the next 3 months. In my 13th update to the nation, I announced the extension of incentive packages for health workers by another 3 months, i.e. July, August, and September. With Finance Minister's mid-year budget review, he again announced that all Ghanaians are to enjoy free water supply for another 3 months. I intend to have it reviewed at the end of the period. Government is also extending the electricity supply to Lifeline tariff customers until the end of the year. The communication service tax has also been reduced from 9% to 5%, effective September 2020. Once approved by Parliament, a national unemployment insurance scheme will be instituted, and will provide temporary income support to workers that have lost their jobs. Government is increasing funding under the CAP Business Support Scheme with an additional 150 million cedis to ensure an increased number of beneficiaries. Furthermore, as indicated by the Minister for Finance, government is establishing a guarantee scheme of some 2 billion cedis to enable businesses access credit at more affordable rates so they can survive and better able to retain jobs. All of these reaffirm our determination to save lives, jobs, and livelihoods, revitalize our economy, and safeguard the future of our country. I assure you that under my watch as President of the Republic, government will continue to work to create a diversified, transformed economy, fashion a conducive business climate that will deliver development, progress, and prosperity for all Ghanaians. This is my solemn pledge to you. Fellow Ghanaians, we are in the 5th month of the outbreak of COVID-19 on our shores. At first glance, it is alarming to see that 32,969 people have so far contracted the virus. But a closer look at the data will tell you that we are steadily on the path towards limiting and containing the virus and ultimately defeating it. The figure to look out for is the number of active cases. When I delivered update number 13, the number of active cases in the country, i.e. those who as of 27 June 2020 had the virus, stood at 4,245. As of midnight of 24th July, nearly a month later, the number of active cases in Ghana stands at 3,307. Again, a month ago, the number of recoveries stood at 12,994. Today is 28,927. This means our recovery rate has improved from 75% of positives a month ago to 89.5%, all in 1 month currently. Our hospitalization and death rates have consistently been very low, some of the lowest in Africa and in the world. The Ghanaian people massively are not dying of the virus in the hundreds and thousands that were earlier anticipated and predicted, and that are being seen on a daily basis in some other countries. The behavior of this virus has baffled the experts and defied most predictions. But 5 months on, we can say that we're witnessing a much milder manifestation of the virus in this country than was initially feared. The rate of virus-related deaths has remained persistently low at 0.5% of confirmed cases. And I dare say, it is the grace of God and the measures taken by your government with your support that have produced this result. It is also importantly due to the immense dedication and hard work being exhibited by our healthcare workers who continue to care for those affected by the virus and for the sick in general, and to whom we continue to remain indebted. I must mention at this stage the completion and handing over on Friday of the 100-bed Ghana Infectious Diseases Center at the Ghana East Municipal Hospital. This is a world-class facility which serves as an example of cooperation between the public and private sectors in our country. The project was conceived and executed by a group of private sector people with the wholehearted support of government and the Ghana Armed Forces. In 100 days, we have provided the first infectious diseases center in our country and we are better able to provide hospital treatment for those in need. This project has been a good example of the generous Ghanaian spirit that has been exhibited since the onset of this crisis. I extend to the trustees and members of the COVID-19 Private Sector Fund the profound gratitude of the nation. It is the reality of the progress of the virus in our country, the measures that we have taken to cope better, and the regular consultations with the relevant stakeholders that informed government's decision over a month ago to embark on a strategic, controlled, progressive, safe easing of restrictions to get our lives and economy back to normal. After further extensive consultations, government has taken the decision to embark upon the implementation of phase 2 of the easing of restrictions in the following sectors of our national life. Our churches and mosques have been open for prayers and services for the past 7 weeks, adhering to 25% occupancy or up to 100 congregants over a time duration of up to 1 hour per service. I extend my deepest appreciation to our religious leaders for their strict adherence to the safety protocols, which have prevented unknown outbreaks since they restarted their services. I've sorely missed going to church, as I'm sure many others have. I'm therefore very happy to announce that in consultation with our church leaders, from 1st August 2020, the restrictions on the number of congregants worshipping at a time in church will be lifted, with the length of worship extended from 1 to 2 hours per service. Church leaders who are desirous of implementing this enhanced easing directive must ensure that congregants wear face masks at all times, and the 1 meter social distancing rule is scrupulously applied. These same guidelines apply to worship in our mosques. With a greater number of congregants likely to return for worship, I would respectfully ask the religious leaders to pay even greater attention to the fresh air ventilation of their premises, rather than relying on the use of air conditioners. In consultation with the Ghana Tourism Authority and the health experts, I'm announcing the reopening of our nation's tourist sites and attractions so they can begin to receive visitors. Open-air drinking spots can now function. The management of these facilities are tasked to enforce enhanced hygiene and social distancing protocols. Beaches, pubs, cinemas, and nightclubs, however, remain closed until further notice. Our female under-20 and under-17 national football teams have been given the clearance to go into their respective training camps to begin preparations towards their FIFA and CAF-sanctioned international matches, which begin in September. Whilst in training, the playing, technical, and management teams must observe strictly all the protocols issued by government, CAF, and FIFA against COVID-19. All other team and contact sports and competitive sporting events remain suspended till further notice. In consultation with the Ministries of Transport and Aviation and the leadership of transport operators, government has taken the decision to lift the restrictions in the transport sector and allow for full capacity in our domestic airplanes, taxis, trotros, and buses. The wearing of masks in vehicles and aircrafts and the maintenance of enhanced hygiene protocols remain mandatory. Private burials, still with a maximum of 100 persons, can continue to be performed. Our borders, by air, land, and sea, remain closed until further notice for human traffic. However, Given that there are Ghanaian residents stranded abroad, special dispensation will continue to be given for the evacuation of our nationals and residents back to Ghana, where they will be subjected to the mandatory quarantine and safety protocols. As I have said before, the phased opening up of our country puts an individual obligation and responsibility on each one of us. It means that we must continue to remain vigilant and respect the enhanced hygiene, mask wearing, and social distancing protocols that have become part and parcel of our daily routine. We dare not ruin the successes we have chalked over this period. There will always be those who will peddle untruths and embark on deliberate misinformation campaigns, especially in this era of fake news. In their irresponsible bid to score cheap points, they escalate mistrust and heighten unnecessarily the anxiety levels over the disease in the country. As we work towards defeating this virus, we should reject completely those who seek to perpetuate falsehood, thereby creating fear and panic, and call them out when they do. Truth will always, in the end, triumph over lies. Our fight against the stigmatizations of persons who have contracted COVID-19 continues in earnest. Those engaged in this antisocial act should stop, as stigmatization drives away people from getting screened, tested, and treated. The virus is no respecter of persons, and the overwhelming majority of persons who have tested positive recover, indeed have recovered, and are living perfectly normal lives and pose no danger to anyone. These changes I have announced transition us into a new phase of our COVID-19 fight, in which we teach ourselves how to live responsibly with coronavirus. We do not expect to go back to the way things were 5 months ago, but we should create a new normal where we're constantly figuring out how to go to work, keep our businesses and places of worship open, send our children to school, and all the time keeping safe, containing the spread of the disease, and acting swiftly where and whenever hotspots appear. This is the new second phase we're entering today. Responsible behavior, continuing state support, and living in grace. This government is resolved and determined in this second phase to help Ghanaians fully return to their daily routines, whether it be going to work, going to school, going to a funeral, or going to worship, all the while taking full precautionary measures to protect ourselves and our families from the virus. Enuanom, medamu nyinaa ase, sɛ modwen me ho adwen pa, na mbɔbɔ mpaeɛ maa me. Ɛno a dɔktafoɔ kaa sɛ, menhyɛ dɛm na ɔtwe mmienu. Nyankopɔn adɔ aroma, na ne biara nka me. Nti ndaaseɛ ɛna mede ma mu nyinaa. Anyame me, minda nyɛfɛ hyiakɛ, yɛhia me, ɛdwama papa, nyɛ sɔre ha me, bɛni daterefoɔ wɔ me nyaakɛ, nhɔtwumi, ochie no. Nomɔdrɔmɔ na, efonko, nina me. Nwewo, ikeshida, ɛha nyɛfɛ. Fellow Ghanaians, I have never wavered in my deeply held conviction that if each one of us embraces the safety protocols and will continue to put our faith in the Almighty, we will emerge strongly from this crisis. This too shall pass, for the battle is the Lord's. May God bless us all in our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention and good night.
Omampeni na nado danko kufado na niya kasa ye no na sei ana ne nsɛm a wɔka ye ne nyinaa etie modaroma mode ma so be fam ye be sema aduonu ekɔ na duasa so na ya kyerem omanma me mamoadwo mani gye sɛ manya mu kwan bion na mene mo ebedi nkita ho maba mo fie mu edin kan mo mena mu nyinaa se ewo mo mpaebɔ ene nyampa mo sema me ebra Dr. Fotu me for say memfa me hunsie na wɔtwe mienu eye sise maba me fra adwuma ase me da mo nyinaa se ene odo a mo dan wadie sadie bosumi etwa mu ni me ba mo nkyɛn na me de sadie maban ɛyɛ ntotoye a ye de ko COVID-19 ebre mo no ene nso maba
be bosumi num ena omai Ghana ne wiase nyina edane butuye ebra yare kodie we besensen ye komu ana ye hu bida na wo hwa yare no sunsuanso ba ya setene mu a ama ba bia enam no ehoto pa a ye nim ne yesese ye imponim difo a wo mo aben no ebra wo mo ko wo manim etu anamo no na afe wo mu nya nimdie nkakra ade no obia ehu so sa virus yi eye foforo kora ama ewiase nyina se kasama to apia edi ewuo ena ehu abo manfo
yeni a yewo my Ghana mu yare ne ba ye yentina ye yetutu na mo ne de bo nkwa ene abrabo ho ban me mamma efri machi a yare ne ba ye na ye de ayem hihye tutu ho na mo no na botaye no ene ye hsusu ye ne se yare be kontem yetutu na mo bie wo se tutu se be ya yamane ntretre bebre yetie nimdifo yetie adwenkyere eye hihya wodo a na bimum posusu se afi bepa mu de na yare da afui na abafem nenso anye ne sa
na nyame ya domo a bosumi ensuin akakra na ebawie nenso virus yi wogusu a woko gidigidi pa a woko nenim yenye hunu ade ebetimi de asi ano kwan efisese de ade isi ekoyi de ewiase nyina yente yare na se na baba ye wo haw kese pa sese kura de eburu se ye kase ye ohaw no eso ene yenim bra ebefri so ame enye ye hoto na de ade nkwaje bebre ye no ene si ebetimi enya aduru a ye betimi ede ano kwan na se betimi aboye ho ban na yare entimi ne yeso yenim se beba wo kyena anampo bosumi yedi yanim yi ana afia ye ba besimo no ebimpo a ebeche obia enim enam se obia enim nti no na se ekwan efa so eboye bra na yetutu ne yie ne yedi na yie na yetimi eboye ho ban na yare yi eni yeso prekope etu obia enhye nenso se emre bi etwam no nanka enya de a yenimu se wonam a na wo hye nose and face mask na yenim ne sa na yenim se eni kwanse wo hye obi a wa tu anasa wo bechia no na yenim se sa de no eni ho nanso se de enya basa se de abusuafo na yepe wo masem a ye ne wo mu hye na yentimi mpo enhia efi se yenya de a yebetimi de asi sa virus yi anokwan nanso sa bre yi aba be kan ye hu yi na se ye nyina ye gitum se aba be kan ye dada setena ho a esese ye de anamo esisi
nanso abrabo yentimi manembo break ntwini nyina faako enkosi da ben o mayi ntimi nkoso ntrase nkase COVID-19 ti yenya hwe eno nti yegusu ye hyehyɛ ye nkakra abrabo besa tiesi na yato ya abrabo so de bia de ene adwuma ye na yesua se ye ne yare ebetena ehia se yetutu sa anamonyi nkakra ebi and say for CBS schools nankakra yama final year for eko na makwa akotro won so hwe e de awie school
na ebe etwato ansa na mene mo kasa na mi maso kire se enkoda be mpema hanso aduonum eye 750,000 omo junior high school omo de omadesua ebe awie no sa enkoda na ya mo bre ankoda ekwa akotro basic education certificate examination e friend BEC nso hwe no a wo mo aboabo omo eba be yesa nso hwe no na no juade ya ena nkwado mo so wo senior high school mo omodo omadesua ba wiye no yede na wo chimako num ema wo mo mankwada yi eyire wo mo husua de afei na wo mo nso hwe no wo mo nso echro eti nkwada ba yempema ahasa eduoso ye 370,000 wo mo nso so echro wo mo nso hwe and nyina ye West African Senior Secondary School certificate examination fa na wase no na nkwada yi echro na wo mo nyina no ya hwese wo mo bampo hu nsem nyina begina ba baabi agina ama eniema nyina nso atimi adimu na wo hwe university wo mo suampom na sukuntoaso no a be 127,143 wo mo kura de wo mafa abefo kwan so atwere wo nsohwe na wi a ebi kura ewie school
na bambo ene apomden pa ye fa sukuufo ne akyerɛkyerɛfo ho no ɛyade ehia yie efibra ye bi school yi ye tu one among se COVID-19 protocols no ye de be ye dwuma frenchim enunti ana said ya bo ho dawro na ya kyerɛkyerɛ niema mu ya ye ne saa na ya boaboa kade ahodo so ano ade ama atena ya ahodo ne womasua atena yem no na ye de ebo ban said ye be ya adesua ene adekyerɛ ebekoso kama na yebetumi so aboa na yesi yare ne tre ano na anyensemu ewo mayimu said the medinka aka no maban awie hinam so se wobebo omayimu nipa enkwa ho ban esukufo no so obebo won ho ban enu nti ne suku bie no ya chechechemu asesei wo mu bewie pe ene wo mokọ aban ente na ye nni nkwada ne hwemo sanso ene ye nni abatan hwemo
onyame ho mobronti ye hu se wo mo ano mo universities na sukunto aso mo no wo mo nya virus no na ewo fom pa ene nkwada kakra bi wo senior high school mo nso ye hu ye no dodo no a wo mo ho ato wo mo ba be kire wo mo nso hwe ena kakra na aka nso aka akra bi na wo mo ho ato wo mo enkwada wo junior high school mo ye te se wo ma ye positive COVID-19 no dodo no a so kra na wo hye mo nipadua no bibie ne ho edi adanse se yade ne bi wo mo so na ye de nkwada ne ko isolation center tesa wo mugusu a yehwe wo mo enche dodo no anso ho beto wo mo
aban bekoso ne woni a wanu drubunu mu na woka wo masua ho adi nkita ho na yehwe sade daachi sukuu bie no ebesi akọ ye twen amasese wo mo mu na hwie wo mo nso hwe na ebedru September mfimfim ho no na yetimi asiginaye yesi a ebebo momane
nansane eno osoafo hwe sikasem ne ntotoye so a wo ye bema wo pa adwuma a wo do ne man ono obokano foriata ekom na hyebedwam na ode kwoto wo man nanim etwa mfonyine kire ye sade wo mai sikasem etebiemu esitie na wode no kuretrodo ena ema ye emfie miensa ene fa 3.5 years ye modern boy ayabo se Ghana sikasem betimi agina no wode ne nyina beto Ghana fo anim daachi ewo ho maye ye wani daso ewo mu se COVID-19 na bresu niema mu odinde nanso ne nyina mu no yetimi abo ye homodin ama eniema agina na nanso ye sikasem mu
mekoso ehye mbo ehye munkran se ye hwe kwan se betiesi abrabom na ye boy bra ye adwuma se de ne esi eye no enunti na abaye hyehya hodo be mo mamma ekomu adwon na oman no etimi agina brane na yetimi ako asa tiesi edada abrabom ebiom enunti abaye hyehya hodo a oman ma mobrowa ye de ebo wonchidom na ye bekoso boa kandia no na ye de ahwe se oman ye dweso nyina eye adwuma ekwo nim sede ekawose eye adwuma ne ye de toto oman sikasem ene omanfo abrabomu sikasem
na lockdown abreso no abanhye manipam pempem ye ma omaduane di ewo oman mu na every bosumi enna besi bosumi nsia no abanhye se mpomdina adwuma yefo akatu ye de ma wo mu no ye bechem yenu ni asade aka ho ede abo wo mu chidom ye ma ho kwan ma mobrofo wo mu ni bie no ensuo ene kane ya nyina wo mu nya ne kwa wantua kapra na se dama ye frɛ wo mo active lifelines customers ai no na ebro 1 million kra eno achi wo mo mfimfin kakra nso ye hwe ma nyina kane ya bo no ohanche mu aduonum 50% ye yisu de ma wo mo ene ye sanso ehwe ye se march ne mu ba no ano bill na buy no eno ne ye de ye nyina so ene ye keka ne nyina esi ani e de ma wo mo sabre aban fa so de atomanim se coronavirus alleviation program business support scheme no eno nso wo ho asike wo mu ne 600 million Ghana cedis no ye de ma enwuma nketo adantemo ne akese kakra said ye be ya sabre sikasem adane abutuo enam virus ya abai sa enwuma no betumi agina wo mu na so aye adwuma de aboa wo man no
ehiase ebesense subion de akyerese ehyehyɛ hodo no ana no mebo ho amane bra me ne mo kasa de etosudu miensa no mekyerɛ mo de kyerese ehyehyɛ kakra na abaye ye de sharp de adwuma ye phone kran no matrem afiri ba bia ne kosi de aboso me miensa ka ho a enunti July August and September, yes, and so a thing almost so a bion. Sika some so for the media budget review ne kwa yenom. One also says to subio de acha say, on my menina benyen so free. I was so many and some idea nim a bion, and also so a brand draw, a babo actually near de beye. Ya sounds so a buying, as sounds so I said. 1 year we use electricity more broad diana crown. A buyer from dianing in our soka eco system. A fee 2020 ebequerie. Bion communication service tax and so. Nanka hancha mu enkro 9% no mametria. Ya teso at the about 5%. Ebe first year September. After 2020.
Enna ebium emrashebe judge tumua ye the National Unemployment Insurance Scheme eba womu a virus iba ye yare kwade wo besinsen ye komu womu adwuma bo mu se de trabo koto ebititi fie komode womu no ye de saade na eba bebo womu chidom na yam womu sika kakra na womu de abobra enna cap business support scheme no so ye de 150 million Ghana cedis ekwakotum na no so ye de abo nipa bebre na sani osofo hwe sika sem na ntotoye so ede tu dwa no ye de bibia by a guarantee scheme I no ye de 2 billion Ghana cedis ena atomu ye de bema enwuma sabre ya ebremu odin no na wo manya bosia no nsi ho ketwa bi ena wo mo betua se de be ya nipa wo mafa wo madwuma no wo munyi wo madie no mo begina so aye adwuma
ehia se su bio ne akire se abaye ni abreso obebo nkwa eho ban enkrofo adwuma ene se de esi dadan ye niema ni na o man ni sikasem so ya kenya emu biom ya boye da ache ho ban ewo man yi emu migina so hyem nkran se maban yi aban ya meti adwamu yi ye bekoso aye de se na fata ne de dandan o man ni sikasem woni ya yenhyehyeye beboa manwuma enya fapem agina na oma ye adwuma tumpon enkan kro ye oman ewomu no ye mpese beti asan etide wo se ye na kwa nanim ama Ghana fo nyina enya so mfaso ye be ye ne saa we eye bo a mehyem nyina
Nenu no Ghana fo yade ebepie Ghana ha bosumi numuni na se wotadi na wo hwe ne din na ho se de esi kro no a enipa wo munya yare bia na ye positive no 32969 na sankrofo no wo munya virus no se wo hwe ne ye pa no ya hwe active cases na na se wo mo ho nto wo mo no ene betimi atwamfonyini a ho chi ede akere wo mo ho se ampa ba bia ye ginanie we nyina edi adanse se kwan ye se ye faso na yare yesi ano kwan anase nipa dodo ebenya bie ye bete so no ye nam kwan paso pa
ebra me no mo kasa de etosudu miensa no na enipa yareboa no eda so won widiem de obroni se active cases no na ewonanim meka June de etoso aduonu enso na virus nipa om de active empem 9 ahenu aduanan enum 4245 me cases pise July de etoso aduonu 9 dane ko na wieye bosome ba kontamu a ye busa ankontan no woni ayareboa ne da so won widiem empem yensa ahasan enso 3307 ebion bosome entamie no enipa na yare na ba mo widiem ne nso wo manya ayaresa afri yare no mu no na yempem dumienu ahankron aduokron 9 12994 ena me ne mo kasei enipa wo mo yare na fri won widiem ama wade won ho krakra enipa empem aduonu nkron ahanan aduokron 9 29494 we akire se sedi yesi efri yare no mu fi no ye bomoden kanenu ne giro hanche mu aduosunum 75% ena no ma free yare no bosumi ntem no abegina 89.5% we akire se yare no ye tu wana mpa
womo yaje o mato ayaresabia ene womo o mafiri mu no wo hwe nkonta no a ewo fom pa na wo de toto amaya aka ebibrem ha ne wiase nyina na eche se Ghana de ne de ɛwɔ fam yie a yɛabɔ yɛ homoden ne nyinaa ne sɛ Ghana fo nyame adom nti sɛ na nipa bi susu sɛ virus ne beku yɛn no enko yɛn saa na ebi mo dwen sɛ nipa mpempem ɛna bɛtɔ hundreds and thousands ɛna bɛtɔ fam ɛbra yare bɛba bɛpie Ghana ha nanso sɛ de na ebi mo ebu ho akonta hwɛ ne mu sɛ besie no ɛnyɛ saa ɛne si yɛ da bia ba ɛna ɛba fam na sɛ de virus ne su ɛne ne ban esitie no nimdifo kora wɔn adwunum a wɔn kyɛnkyɛn efisɛ adeɛ no wɔn hu sɛ de sitie we say wo bu akonta na asan adane eti beye bosumi enum ni enema nyina di adanse se enkensunsuanso ebenya wo man ne so no abafom ye se de na ehu bi aboye no enye saa na eyeye na wo se virus nipa wo mafamu ahwere wo nkwa no eno nso wo fom pa beye ohanche mu hwe akiriponum eye 0.5%.
na media kokodro kase eye nyame adompe adom ene na mo na ban atutu ene mo omanma mo chigina papa ena ama sensunsanso yi a ye ka ho asemi yenya enya se ye beto akoso ede nsia yo ene adwumaden aye adwuma na afen so yapomde adwuma ye fo modem boy a wo mo bo ene o matu nwache no ye beto aso saa na yetimi akon ne de yare so enkonim na afi yapomudin nyina so a wo mo ye ho adwuma no mo gu so ye ho adwuma no wo matimi akoso aye meka ne pain de akere sem ye was da kase a wo se ye demma yapomudin adwuma ye fo wo mo aye adwuma a wo mo gu so aye adwuma enuti ye de wonka
baby ye dri memfa ntomanim se nanu fiada ena Ghana Infectious Diseases Center you see ye ewo Ga East Municipal Hospital I know ebetimi enyampa oha na wo hwe se de ade city a world class facility pa ene me wo mu ne ejina na akono eye oman no ene ankrankra bi ne ka wo mu ho bo mu a wo mu di sa adwumai a ye see ne fefefe na we eye Ghana fo binom a wo private sector ne keka wo madwene esiani ena ban ebo wo mu chidoma Ghana Armed Forces so meya safo dom so ka wo mo ho wo mo de na maako ha 100 days pe NDC First Infectious Diseases Center edi ama omeya eba beboa ama ya ho hiahia bremu yi eniema agya ne naso na wo sa project ya ekire Ghana for ya yemu ye sunsumu a ekuta ye na ebra wo hawo ne abinidie ehyanse ne saa ne ade na di saa eti me fa akonya isunsu na trustees ene members o maka COVID-19 private sector fund ne ho no mabo o maba so no maka kire wo mo se ye ni so ye da wo mo se adwuma pa wo de boa wo mai
eya no kretrodo se yare yi ehwana muntu a yetu o my Ghana mu no ya yade na yetutu na mo no yie enkita ho papa ye ekoso aban ne woni a wote ase no anu burubunu mu ho na aban gina no sutu na mo no eno a ne aye etini saboso me aba besin kronim ye fu ase ye hwehwa ahodo ogogo niema mu ye nkakra wo hye no a ye de to ye ho so yare mu no ye yi firi ho nkakra sabe ye kwamu betene no meyi begina ne na so bion na ye sika sam ne yabrabo ebesa tie sisede kane na ye bo ye bra
menim panifo twetwe nkomo no aban asigina ye bi a eso a ye de to ye so no ye behehe mu kakra na de ye ba behehe mu no de etoso mienu no a ye beboa ma ya setena na akose oman no ena medi etudwe
and sorry ene nkramodan ahodo mo bompa ye bie ama makwa ye asori be se na woche ensuni ye ka se hwehwe de to ho se enipa wa asori dan no mu no ye bumu ha enchemu aduonunum 25% ana ye chemu enan a emu baako ena ehyen dan mu nkonkoya asori e wo bre baako mu no anaso aboso a enipa wo ha entra asori dan mu enya asori no nokre modi so afa ye ya ne se donhwere baako ena ebetime di asom sorry etimi edi so kama frenchim enunti media sadakase mo som akua hodo ne mpanifo some aboama safety protocols yetimi dia ye adwuma nkakra efri bra yare eba besu yen eba besi ene
Mafia sorry pa na megidi se won so wutie me wafia sorry eti na me fa akonye nso na made ahohoaho a de atom anim se me ne sorry mpanifo twehwe nkomo no nyame adoma bosome ngochi ne de edi kan August 1 2020 no eso a de to kwa efa so edi dwuma won sorry no se ya hehe mu a ebeboa se die asori ne betimi afa nipa bia wo mo pese wo mo fa na donhwere baako a na ye de yesom no se ye de kodonhwere mienu eti obia ebetimi akwa asori mene nsori mpanifo twehwe nkomo no mesa de to wo manim se wo mo hwese ebra ya ma ho kwan se wo betimi akwa asori wo betimi afa nipa dodo obia no enhwehwe ya ye de egu akwam se obia ba asori a se wo hye face mask no obia ehyebe ebribia ena ye momodia se ye betete ye ntem ye ntena emom eno nso ensore no emfanye adwuma na sa adwumadie wei no nye nsore nko ane mom mosque nyina no wo mo ye nkramodan wo mo so mfanye adwuma saa na emoa na wasese bra ye nyina ye san kwa asore biem ye nyina ye kɔ nkramodan mu akwakosom no ye mfa nidie emma ye ho ebra ye hwɛ se safety protocols ni nyina ye de ye adwuma se ye de air condition be ye adwuma wa asore dem ne ba bia som no de me susu se ye mie mpoma na emframa emfa asore dem ho.
Mene Ghana Tourism Authority ene apomdimo nimdefo akasa enunti emiamia ahodo manfo kɔ ensra tourist site ahodo no ye bie omanfo betimi akɔhwehwehwɛ na enigide no atoaso afi baabi a ye kokotena sitwetwa bie drinking spot de wo petemu ye betimi abie aye adwuma na mom semu bie a enhance hygiene and social distancing yemfanya adwuma meka ni Beyonce beach pub cinema na baby a yekohwe sini ene night club de ebesi sabre yemie yenya emie yatum beach pub cinema ene night club yatum yemie yentimi nya hwe wo sesei answer.
Female under 20 and under 17 national football team. Yenu anomo ma omobobo ema ye no. Ya ma kwan se wo mo nkotentene wo mo mpom ye training camp no wo mo nkɔ na wo mo enchance fi se FIFA and CAF. International matches bi esese ye born in September no. Esese emei etentene wo mo mpom gina wo mo nanso koye ni yie. Wo mo gusua ye training no mese technical and management team ne say. Sa protocols no a CAF and FIFA dia todwa COVID-19 na breso no. Wo mo fanya adwuma pepepe na emomu no ye wo agodie bi wo ha eni nipa bi hia ye wo agodie bi wo ha ye si akan saa de ni nyina de ya twea sensen a no ye gina ba bia egina na se de fa ni team and contact sports and a competitive sporting event no ni nyina no enya de a wo mo beye emayo no eye under 17 and under 20 no eni ama wo mo kwan so mo nkoye training se de be ya September wo mbetimi abo CAF and FIFA wo mo matches ahodo a eda wo manim.
Yeni Ministry of Transport and Aviation shia ya fa dwen transport operators a Ghana ene omu nyina shia se o hya no ede to won so ana bus entimi fa nipa dodo a wo se fa nyina iwemuhye entimi fa nyina no ye fi ho se de se ye iwemuhye a edi o mai makwaniaba domestic airlines no omu betimi afa nipa ama na boma afa taxi ebe fa nipa no o fa kanini nyina trotro so betimi afa ne ma bus nso saa na mum se ye hya mask de eyo hye wote ka mu ana wote wiemhye mu a ewo se wo hye afei ye the hygiene protocols ahunidie hye no ebe ye adwuma o hye so private barrier sa ye di hye bi afiri mu na ye kwa akosie no ye bekuta akoso aye enipa wo ha no a ene betimi ahia na wasie wonde hye
omeya hye so eposo ewiem enna asase so nyina yatum se obi ebe free baby abaha na so obi be free ha ko baby no ejina baby ejina nemom Ghana de hye wo mabodompem e wa mahodo so no aban de ne ma sisi ye ne atabiri wo mu nyina de wo maba Ghana ha se de be ye betimi abo wo bedru nso a de fe ne mandatory quarantine no eno nso be ye adwuma na safety protocols ne nyina nso wo mu e de ahyehye wo mu dwumadim
Na se de medi nka aka no. Ya nema ye bagumu kakra. Na ye agumu. Na ne omanma obia wa sudie. E wo se ye yen ho ahwefo. E wo se ye boa yen ho. Ye ma ye ni da ho. Na ye den hyehyɛ pa ne ye adwuma fenchim. Mask na wo se ye hye. Social distance ye fenya adwuma. Na ye nkɔ ye dada adwuma so e ma ye bra. Na menka se ye nya ne saa. Efise ye anya ne saa. Ene ma papa no aya ye dia bra yare no ase ne se de esi akwakodu no ye be se ni nyina enu nti obi afa ne hyebra hye ne nsem na wonye ne yonko so hwefo na ye nyina ye moa na yare yi ye ntimi emre nase
ye won krofo bi wo ho a wo mo ya atrofo wo mo mpe ne kore sa nkrofo no bekoso a na wo mo de atro tutudwa de ye friend fake news no na ne nyina ne se ya ho pese wo mo ye bibi di wo mo ho sisiye ana se gidi o manfo wo aban mu ne adwuma pa ne adwuma so aban eye no wo mo bre na senti san krofo de wo mo wo ho na enso nya de bema ya bamu abuo se wo hwe wo ko aye ko se de bedi virus isu asan krofo nso nenam na wo mo de atro ene bosimo kan na nenamu no a ha dwe na enso wo ya Ghana ni na wo ti a ya abotugu ba bi kura efi se no kure ne ye pe enipa bi pese wo mo di hu ebo o manfo na afa de akan ya hye na de ba ko menim se ebre bia no kure ebedi atroso awieye no kure ena begina
okun ya ye ko atia covid-19 yi ye ko so ye nipa wi mu a emwa yen obinya yare no na wo firi mu a wo firi mu eje wo se ne tena somdwe mu eniema ye nipa yi mu no eke nipa hye amanu nti obi mpompe so okokohwe se wonya yare ni bi ene agina so akwakoboa no amana san ho yare adofo yare no emu bia emfa ho ne de wo ye enipa anya bi enso dodo no a afiri mu afi omanya yaresa woma de wom ho omoto woma brabo so a haw bia nim na woma brabo enkofi ho ana yare no emfemre obi a onyanya bie etinipa nyi mu ne de monhwe na yenyai
ensesa media bay emfa covid-19 ko aye queen ede yakọ baby foforo kra na baby ede baba bedru no kire se yeda yesu ene ye ban bia dia yedi ye huni coronavirus abresu obi anya responsible na yenhwe se ebusumi a etchemu busumi numu a etchemu na kwan na ye fa so boy ye bra nse se de entesa ye fra bibi the new normal kwan ye fa so aye ya de foforo enti kwan ye fa so di adwuma asesa kwan ye fa so ebie yapono ma nkrofo ba ene ye bedidwa eno nso asesa ye sumu dwumadie ye kokosom no eno nso asesa saa ye ma wo mu ko school no enema nyina adane ebre adane na ne nyina no ye hwese betimi abo ye ho ban se de be ya saa yare yi entretre ye te se baabi yare na manemu so a ye de merikatanta abasaharo so bekwa kopie ho ne ahye ne ama saa yare no afiri ho kra
afei momienhwe ne nso se ofe to so mienu no a ye wramu sesei ne de go yare ne hyehyeye pampe no a ye yere ye mu no ene se ye bebu ye ho ye bedan subampedi oman ne bekoso na waboa yen na yakoso so atena se e wadum emu na maban ye sin ketekra chese ye behwe ama Ghana fo abrabo asate asine dada mu biun obi etimi atutu na namon abone bra omafo etimi akọ wonuma so wonne wo so okusku akọ wo mu suku de wo kọ aye akọ de wo kọ asori akọ na bra ye tutu na mo we nyina no na ehia se ye ya hweyie ne de boye ho ban ne de boye busua ho ban na yare yi obi antibi ammo
me wadwempo bi se ye nyina ye hye na safety protocols no ye de ye adwuma enema de egu akom ye di nso ne sem na horo ye nsa alcohol based sanitizers efafa ye nsa ho social distance ne ye de ye adwuma de frɛ no safety protocols no ye nyina ye de ye adwuma me wadwenkyere bi se ebeboa nkasa ena twedie mponyankopon adaworo mabo obeboa ye ebra emu odin ebema ye frisa wo hawo ne abenedie ene kodie we ya baba sinsin ye komi wenso ebetwam okon no eda so ye twedie mponyankopon ekon onyankopon enhira ye nyina na wonhira ye my Ghana wo ma ye nye kese na ye nya hoden onyame nhira wo se obre waso ase na wonya abre etie me sabri
Omampeni na nado danko akufado nkasa ho etosudu na ye no a woni ye ka ye no eni ye ho meka sebo iso ye basisi a The Amoka Freddy's Corner Home Appliances home or the Abba Freddy's Corner Home Appliances Center. Home appliances are a ye papabia, a biwo home. Brands Bain, Media, Samsung, Kaiware, TCL, TV, air conditioner, freezers, fridges, water dispensers, and Nidia Kekeka home. We are obeying good warranty, dear. For Freddy's Corner Home Appliances Okokomemle.
CCTV a Boama monitor of properties, new business at anywhere in the world.
CCTV and Nidaho, a wood detector, clear pictures, Wi-Fi connector. Ultimate connector my phone. Our monitor baby a wo wiasibia.
Freddy's Corner Home Appliances Abeka Freddy's Corner a Joshua Hodoa or ton phones and a home accessories no.
For 0544 959195 and 020 7937323 and also Boko Komemle satellite in Chehwa. Na yaka discount any achadia ubetiasie.
Freddy's Corner,
home of authentic home appliances, phones and its accessories.
Amen. Waya. Ando. Mumba maya nenya miasi. Oye. Nanadu hoda. Amen.
Yenim samu sese nije asene sei.
Asene se. Wadi amen ajanse nyem. Awo herbal ayaresem bio. Nkunudie adansidie na asie eni abasobodie nkoa. Se wanso wo hwe apomdie no hoto a wadi abra manfo. Efu ye ntriso ekosi ye na asie. Ehina yade sha amen ensa yade. Wadi ni ni abefo efidie echi yade no cool what time.
Amen e de herbal accommoding was found in naturopathy and homeopathy plan ekun ye nyarewa.
Say sukuu fofu amonane be hwe ekwan yade herbal say yade ewo amen.
We nenti e na yade anigye from say ye pawo yare bi hyehyɛ ho ana yare bi abegye kona wo nipadua mu a Allah shafi onyame ne yaresafo inshallah enyame adom a ayaresa beba.
Amen wodome wo be old smith
ultra modern branch wa Klagon Tama Road Frey 020-722-9505 and 0245-275254. Amen Scientific Herbal Hospital.
So wakoma ho hyehyew ana ebo periperi de broni kan hardware no a e de na se wo ye na se wo yam so atim so e
wo be packing a farmer Martin's liver salt techira kwai entem ehwie nsu agu glass mo ate Martin's liver salt no ba ko no na wo de agum
wo be hu se ehu wa glass ni mu na wa nom Martin's liver salt ye won orange flavor ana ba ko so ye plain
wo mu a ho beto na mum edi na nu na ho nto wo a ko hu doctor.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Peace 104.3 FM no wasugu so awutie no coronavirus a bewia sinyina no se abrei enipa wo manya bie eye 16,424,841 wo mo ho ato wo no eye 10,502,978 ena wo mo afri mu no eye 652,343 na se wo mo ho ato wo no edoso pa na so wo so a yare yi ekun wo no wo mo edoso ewo wiase na yeso sui ne dia seda PSC Masiuzi Herbal Center wo mo de sibi man capsules abadwa so na sibi women capsules na sibi soap we nyina eye yabodi ba bi eto nro bia wuduru ho a be menna wonya sibi man capsules na be siesie wo kama wodwonso ande mu akyemi no ekyese bibi ha ewo fom ho anase bia wodwonso na wote ya wo be medicatica sha wo be mem eye sibi man capsules edro ena bebo uchidom sibi women capsules ne de wo ba himfie takeka wo oba bi wo na mosia kosa me pe ba bi kra hye de mensa akofoma kwakwochi wonya sibi women capsules ebesiesie wo kama de kodie ne nam so na de sa wo haw na ba no betu ase kra ena sibi soap de pedicure na wo de hye sandals a amanase ya akono Fresh Suzy Herbal Center e wo 024-7111-671 e 024-7111-671 First Atlantic Bank ni ye na ye mobile banking application edi adwuma no short code no star 442 hash star 442 hash na wodem banking transaction bia opese wo yese bia wo disike mane obi anase bia wo momo na disike to mobile money account bia ne nyina no easy wo short code star 442 hash wo betimi a download do simple the First Atlantic Ghana mobile app no wo Google Play Store and iOS Store wona unya wo phone so a Any instant funds out by transfer bills I would do betia to airtime be people experience no aya kono mobile phone ekuta wono eya wa wodia ma homran fa so kese ebra wodi transaction a safe secure and a sanso a simple. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different this way chocolate drink Ghana cocoa papa bi ne dia ye de ohia ye nso hye wo de kakra wono ankodai wo fie no pa ne awia ne numre nyina this way ema hodin na busiemu ni nyina eboa yempomden
akenkan fo amuti yenken ayemme mama ya kunadu ena
akosia ago aboagye ya homesie ba me
Ghana muntie na mansanya so